Alright, so today, if you're watching this video, it's going to be covering solving addition and subtraction equations. Just like normal, let's go ahead and write the title at the top of our page. So I'm going to write up here, solving addition and subtraction equations. We're going to do a problem of the day to begin. So pod, if you would go ahead and fold your paper into 4 parts. So fold it in half. And then fold it in half again. And we're going to label the 4 areas. Actually, first let me divide it up. Okay. We are going to have the problem. We're going to have a plan. In the bottom, we're going to go ahead and write in that we will have our work. And then we will also show a check along with our final answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at what the problem is for the day. If you were following along in the textbook, it's going to be on page 126, number 40, and I'm actually just going to write the problem down here for you. Grab a different color. Keep it a little interesting. So it says the sum of a number and 8 is negative 47. What is the number? Okay, so if you are working on this, I'd probably recommend that you pause the video at this point. If you're with someone else, you can work on it together. If you're on your own, think about how you would figure this out. Alright, so my plan is I have to probably try out different numbers and add 8 to them to see if I get negative 47. Okay. So that's my idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll come back to it at the end of the lesson and see if that's a good plan to start off with. Right. You can grab your next sheet of paper, and these are going to be our notes for the day. So if you want to go ahead and write in the corner here, these are our notes. Okay. And you're going to fold your paper into 4 parts like normal. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and also draw in my 4 rectangles. And if you're following along in the textbook, we are going to be on page 123 doing example number 1. So example number 1, put up here. It's going to be, the instructions are going to be solve the equation and check your solution. Okay, so the equation is m minus 10 equals 14. Alright, so let's think about how we can figure this out. Some of you probably can see right away, okay, I think I know what the value is for m. These problems are going to get more complex though, so we need to develop a strategy or a way that we can always work through them. What I recommend a lot of times to students is that you draw a line. Remember, with equations, we have to keep it equivalent. So what we do to one side, we're going to always have to do the other side of the equation. We want to get the variable, m in this case, by itself. So the opposite, or the inverse of subtraction, is addition. So I'm going to add 10. And what I do to one side, I do the other side. 14 plus 10 is going to be 24. These 10s get crossed out, and I'm left with m equaling 24. Alright, before I put a box around this, I'm going to actually check my work. So I'm going to plug it back into my original equation. So I'm going to do a check here. And I'm going to say, okay, if I plugged 24 back in, so 24 minus 10, is this going to give me a true statement? 24 minus 10 is 14. 14 minus 14 is true. Okay, so it's good to go. I can go ahead and put a box around my solution. All right, let's do another one. If you go ahead and move your paper over, go over to example number 2. And it's going to have the same instructions. So it's going to be solve the equation and check your solution. Okay. So the equation in this case is negative 6.2 plus x equals 15.5. Alright, so this one might not be quite as obvious in terms of what the solution is by just looking at it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same process. I'm going to draw a line down. And I need to get x by itself. Now I have this negative 6.2. The only way I can get rid of it is by adding 6.2 to both sides. Okay, so remember, you need to keep your decimal lined up, and then you just go ahead and add down. So I get 7, 5 plus 6 is 11, carry 1. So I get 21.7, 6.2, positive and negative get crossed out. So x equals 21.7. Before you can actually say that's your final answer, you do need to do a check. Okay, so I'm going to plug it back into my original equation. So negative 6.2 plus 21.7, does that really equal 15.5? I'm going to do my work on the side. So 21.7, I'm actually subtracting here 6.2. Keep your decimal places lined up. 7 minus 2 is 5. I have to borrow the 2, so make it 1 there. So 11 minus 6 is 5. And I am left with 15.5. So this does work out for me. Alright, I'm going to have you do 2 on your own. So go down to the 2 boxes on the bottom of your paper, and we're going to do your turn. Okay, so go ahead and write these down. It's going to be a minus 5 equals negative 14, and b is negative 20.4 equals k plus 7.8. So if you are watching this, again, I would recommend that you pause the video at this point and come back and check your solutions. Make sure when you find your solutions that you are checking them before you actually say that's your final answer. Alright, so here's the answers. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. So we're going to add 5. Okay, remember, when you have integers, if they're opposite signs, you're actually subtracting. So 14 minus 5 is 9. I'm keeping the sign of the bigger number before I can actually say that's my final answer. I'm going to go back and check my work. So I'm going to say plug in negative 9 for A. And remember, when I subtract, I'm actually adding the opposite. So negative 9 plus negative 5 is negative 14, so that is correct. And go back up there and circle as my square as my final answer. Alright, let's go to the other side. I'm going to need to get rid of the 7.8, so the opposite of adding is to subtract. Cross those off. Now, I'm going to rewrite this down here. It might be a little bit easier to see. Negative 20.4 minus 7.8 equals k. Remember, when you subtract, you're actually adding the opposite. Okay, so these are like signs, so I'm just going to add them up. I'm going to do my work over here. So 20.4, 7.8, let's see, 12, carry my 1, 8, 2. Okay, I'm going to keep my sign, so it's negative 28.2 equals k. Before I can say that's my final answer, I need to show a check. And let's plug it back into the original equation. So negative 20.4, I'm going to plug in negative 28.2 plus 7.8, and let me see if those do equal each other. And do my work kind of on the side again. They are different signs here, so I'm actually need to subtract. So actually maybe I'll do it right up over here. So 28.2 minus 7.8, and I need to borrow, put 4, 0, and since the negative went with a bigger number, it's going to be a negative 20.4. So this does work out. Alright, you can go ahead and move on to the next video to see your next examples and also the work and check for the problem of the day.